progress. Welcome to Souq News, your source for business, economy, and development insight that drive nations forward. From the vibrant streets of Lagos, Africa's fastest economic hub, Souq News takes you on a journey of discovery, analyzing and reporting the facts that lay the foundation for growth and development. We don't just report the news, we create it. Souq News is more than a channel. It is a catalyst for change, spotlighting the stories that shape economies, inspire entrepreneurs, and fuel progress. Covering business, finance, technology, energy, and many more, Souq News provides a daily deep dive into the stories that matter, interviews with industry titans, and analysis that empowers your understanding of economic landscape. Join us daily as we dissect, discuss, and deliver the most relevant and factual news on business and the economy. Souq News is your trusted guide, empowering you with the knowledge to make informed decisions.
My name is Dr. Rafiu Oladipo.
My name is Baba Jalal Repega.
I'm Reverend Juliet Benite.
I'm Godi Odidi.
My name is Professor Oladokun Sulaiman Olarawaju.
Souq News is on the ground, loading.
Very enlightening, very educative, and entertaining.
Thank you to Souq News.
So I'm happy that Souq TV has come into existence.
I'm happy to be here in the Souq News.
I want to encourage you to subscribe to the channel and keep watching news that makes sense.
As Browning said, one's extension of one's reach should not exceed one's grasp, or what is heaven for. And I think Souq News is doing that.
Africa needs a voice of truth, and Souq News has become one of them. And get ready, get ready, get ready.
And keep watching.
Keep watching Souq News.
Keep watching Souq News. It's a place to be.
Keep watching Souq News.
The heart of sub-Saharan Africa, where commerce meets progress. Welcome to Souq News, your source for business, economy, and development insight that drive nations forward. From the vibrant streets of Lagos, Africa's fastest economic hub, Souq News takes you on a journey of discovery, analyzing and reporting the facts that lay the foundation for growth and development. We don't just report the news, we create it. Souq News is more than a channel. It is a catalyst for change, spotlighting the stories that shape economies, inspire entrepreneurs, and fuel progress. Covering business, finance, technology, energy, and many more, Souq News provides a daily deep dive into the stories that matter, interviews with industry titans, and analysis that empowers your understanding of economic landscape. Join us daily as we dissect, discuss, and deliver the most relevant and factual news on business and the economy. Souq News is your trusted guide, empowering you with the knowledge to make informed decisions.
The challenge of governance is to see how we can leverage what is on the ground and convert this to wealth for the people.
Russia, China are gaining entry into Africa, and it would appear that some Western countries are losing out.
You're working as an expatriate worker, then you're paid in your currency. But then if you must spend those money, you need to convert those money to the local currency to spend.
For Social Security to work, we need to know exactly how many we are. We don't have a precise number. We need to know exact location of people.
When we address this exchange rate volatility,
we will see definitely cost of goods and services will come down.
From a security point of view, we should employ the technology to ensure that we can track individuals and goods within the continent.
This early exchange with Femi Ayodele.
You know, the early exchange is all about shaping policy and advancing development. With our conversation today, we're set to give you the best of programming.
And Blessing Aiche.
We do hope that you enjoy every time you spend with us here today. The world needs peace. The world needs to come to a round table and find solutions to the pockets of troubles.
Early exchange, shaping policy, advancing development.
Good morning, welcome to Early Exchange. It is a special edition because it is March 8th and it is International Women's Day. Happy International Women's Day to all the wonderful women who have been striving for a more inclusive and equitable society. We thank you for your struggles. We appreciate those before us, those with us, and those who are already coming after us, who will join in the fight for a better world for all of us. We appreciate the men as well who's been there for the women that have made a mark in different endeavors. So today, because it's a special show, the show is dedicated to the issues concerning women today, and of course celebrating wonderful women who've achieved greatly in different spheres of endeavors. I am Blessing Aiche. Let me take you now to my fellow woman, Lavina Emma, who will bring you the news updates. Enjoy.
Good morning, Blessing, and happy International Women's Day to you. Hello, and welcome to the news update on Souq News. I am Lavina Emma. The Central Bank of Nigeria has reported an increase in foreign exchange inflow in February 2024, driven by higher remittance payments from Nigerians abroad and increased purchases of Naira assets by foreign portfolio investors. According to a press release signed by the bank's Acting Director of Corporate Communications, Mrs. Hakama Ali, remittances surged to $1.3 billion, more than 4 times the amount received in January. Foreign investors bought over $1 billion of Nigerian assets, contributing to total portfolio flows of $2.3 billion in 2024 so far, compared to the $3.9 billion for the entire previous year. The trend continued into March with heightened investor interest in short-term sovereign debt after benchmark interest rate adjustments. Government securities issuance were oversubscribed, with foreign investors marking up to 75% of bids at auctions held on March 1 and 6, 2024. The European Union has pledged $37 million to aid in the digitalization of education and research across Nigeria and other African nations. This commitment was announced by EU Ambassador to Nigeria, Mrs. Samuela Isopi, during the 2024 West and Central African Research and Education Network, WACREN, which took place in Abuja. Isopi emphasized EU's dedication to supporting Africa and some Arab countries in enhancing digital education and research efforts. Through projects like Africa Connect, the EU aims to improve connectivity and services for institutions and end users, with a total budget of $37.5 million allocated for its third phase. Additionally, the EU is assisting Nigeria's digital transformation and education system at all levels to facilitate access to global competitive funds like Horizon Europe and Erasmus. Nigerian Minister of Education, Professor Taher Mamman, also stressed the crucial role of research and education in driving Africa's development and outlined government initiatives to foster innovation across educational institutions. CEO of WACREN, Dr. Boubacar Bari, expressed gratitude to partners, including the EU, for their support in advancing digital initiatives in the region. Senegalese presidential candidates are now gearing up for a condensed campaign period leading to the election day on March 24, following the Constitutional Council's confirmation of the date. The decision comes after weeks of uncertainty sparked by authorities' attempts to delay the vote until February 25 next year, which led to widespread protests and concerns about democratic retrogression. With the election now set before President Macky Sall's mandate, which expires on April 2, candidates have just over 2 weeks to rally support, including during the holy month of Ramadan. Opposition candidate Anta Babakar acknowledges the challenge, emphasizing the need for innovative campaigning strategies while respecting Ramadan. The ruling coalition candidate Amadou Ba expresses confidence despite uncertainties surrounding his candidacy. The confirmation of the election date has also brought reassurance to the debt market, with Senegal's international sovereign dollar bonds experiencing a rise in value. Turkey and Somalia have strengthened their bilateral ties through the signing of an offshore oil and natural gas cooperation agreement characterized as an intergovernmental pact by the Turkish Energy Ministry. This deal encompasses oil exploration, evaluation, development, and production across Somalia's land and sea blocks. Energy Minister Bayraktar emphasized Turkey's commitment to utilizing the agreement for the benefit of the Somalia people and enhancing Turkey's presence in the Horn of Africa. The agreement sets the stage for imminent oil exploration activities, particularly in offshore areas, with plans for deploying seismic exploration vessels in the near future. Additionally, the agreement covers various operational aspects such as transportation, distribution, refining, sales, and services related to oil and other products from the land and sea projects. Turkey's expanding engagement in Somalia extends beyond energy cooperation to encompass broader developmental and military support, including the establishment of schools, hospitals, infrastructure, and military bases. The U.S. House of Representatives is set to vote on legislation requiring ByteDance, the Chinese owner of TikTok, to divest from the app within 6 months or face a U.S. ban. This move comes after the Energy and Commerce Committee unanimously approved the measure, marking significant momentum for a TikTok crackdown. Lawmakers received a classified briefing on national security concerns regarding TikTok's Chinese ownership before the vote. While TikTok argues that the bill effectively amounts to a ban, proponents stress the need for separation to address national security risk. The legislation aims to bolster legal authority over TikTok following previous attempts by then-President Donald Trump to ban the app. However, challenges remain, particularly in gaining bipartisan support and addressing constitutional concerns. With that, we call it a wrap on the news updates. I am Lavina Emma. Many thanks for watching. Stay tuned to Blessing on today's special episode of Early Exchange.
All right, we'll take a quick break and then return to look at the core issues that concern women as the world focuses on investing in women and accelerating progress in this year's International Women's Day celebration. Stay tuned to Early Exchange.
In the heart of sub-Saharan Africa, where commerce meets progress, welcome to Souq News, your source for business, economy, and development insight that drive nations forward. From the vibrant streets of Lagos, Africa's fastest economic hub, Souq News takes you on a journey of discovery, analyzing and reporting the facts that lay the foundation for growth and development. We don't just report the news, we create it. Souq News is more than a channel. It is a catalyst for change, spotlighting the stories that shape economies, inspire entrepreneurs, and fuel progress. Covering business, finance, technology, energy, and many more, Souq News provides a daily deep dive into the stories that matter, interviews with industry titans, and analysis that empowers your understanding of economic landscape. Join us daily as we dissect, discuss, and deliver the most relevant and factual news on business and the economy. Souq News is your trusted guide, empowering you with the knowledge to make informed decisions. Lateef Jakande. Born Lateef Kayode Jakande in the Ekbetedo area of Lagos Island, Lagos State on July 1929. He studied at the Lagos Public School at Enowa, Lagos Island, then at Bonham Memorial Methodist School, Port Harcourt, King's College, enrolled at Ilesha Grammar School, where he edited a literary paper called The Quarterly Mirror. Jakande began a career in journalism in 1949 with a daily service and joined the Nigerian Tribune in 1953. The owner, Chief Obafemi Awolowo, appointed Jakande editor-in-chief of the Tribune in 1956. Jakande established John West Publications in 1975 after leaving Tribune and began to publish the Lagos News. He served as the first president of the Newspaper Proprietors Association of Nigeria, NPAN. Jakande ran for election as executive governor of Lagos State in 1979 on the Unity Party of Nigeria platform. His administration was effective and open and implemented the cardinal policies of his party. He introduced housing and educational programs targeting the poor, building new neighborhood primary and secondary schools, and providing free primary and secondary education. He gave poor people's children education, and many of them are now very prominent in the society today. Jakande established the Lagos State University and constructed over 30,000 housing units. After the military takeover in 1983, Jakande was charged, prosecuted, and convicted of treason and later pardoned. He served as Minister of Works under the Sani Abacha military regime. He died in Lagos on February 11, 2021. Lateef Jakande was the first civilian governor of Lagos State. Lateef Kayode Jakande, Souq Enlightenment.
The challenge of governance is to see how we can leverage what is on the ground and convert this to wealth for the people.
Russia, China are gaining entry into Africa, and it would appear that some Western countries are losing out.
You're working as an expatriate worker, then you're paid in your currency. But then if you must spend those money, you need to convert those money to the local currency to spend.
For Social Security to work, we need to know exactly how many we are. We don't have a precise number. We need to know exact location of people.
When we address this exchange rate volatility, we will see definitely cost of goods and services will come down.
From a security point of view, we should employ the technology to ensure that we can track individuals and goods within the continent.
This is Early Exchange with Femi Ayodele
You know, the Early Exchange is all about shaping policy and advancing development with our conversation. Today, we're set to give you the best of programming.
And blessing Aiche.
We do hope that you enjoy every time you spend with us here today. The world needs peace. The world needs to come to a round table and find solutions to the pockets of troubles.
Early exchange, shaping policy, advancing development.
Thank you for staying tuned to a special edition of Early Exchange today because it's International Women's Day. So, Femi, a man who used to be here with me, I chased him away. All right, that's a joke. I didn't chase him away, but because it's Women's Day, we need to show you that, be in your face in case you forgot what the day is about. And so Grace Kumalafe is here with me today on Early Exchange. Hello, Grace. Happy International Women's Day to you.
Wishing you the same blessing. It's good to share the table with you this morning. Happy International Women's Day.
Thank you. And interestingly, the theme for this year is Invest in Women, Accelerate Progress. Because the report, not a pleasant result of that report, shows that 1 in 10 women globally are in abject poverty, and that's not a good one. So investing in women to accelerate progress, we would say, is coming timely. That call is very timely. And if you look at the reasons why a lot of women are struggling with economic empowerment, we could trace that back to education.
Of course.
You know, because of course education gives you that empowerment. Once the woman is educated, she already stands a good chance of empowering herself economically. Even when the white-collar job is not available, she can create the job for herself.
I agree with you, but and again, I'm going to take it back, dating back 17th, 18th century, where women are not allowed to, take some certain decisions due to cultural rules, norms, and all of that. So, women are confined to do some certain things, just stay in the house, do the cookings, do the chores, while the men go out to study, go out to work, and all of that. So I think that has actually brought, coming this far, women to this level whereby you see that men are really, having upper hands in doing things. And of course, the theme is a very key one, coming timely, like you said. Invest in women. There's this saying that when you teach a girl, just one woman, of course you start from the baby, when you teach just a girl, you are teaching a whole community. You won't compare it with when you're teaching a man, because the woman nurtured the child. You can have 2, 3, 4, even 10 of them, you nurturing all of them, compared to the men going out there, running after making money and all of that. Well, I'm not saying they are not doing well at all, but of course it's a timely time to have a team like this for International Women's Day.
Yeah, you mentioned the years before now, centuries before now, because the celebration of International Women's Day is more than a century actually. And you know that what moved up to that point actually began in 1857 when there was a first protest by working women about unfair conditions, and they wanted improved rights for women. And then also there was another protest in 1908 where women marched through some parts of New York City, also in protest. And so in 1910 it was agreed upon that there should be a day set aside for the celebration of Women's Day. So the first International Women's Day was in 1911. So dating back to now is more than a century, and women are still in the business of asking for improved conditions for women globally. This cannot happen without economic empowerment, which Grace has said. If you teach a child, you teach a community.
In fact, we're extending. You teach a nation. When you teach a child, you teach a nation, actually.
I agree with you.
And it is what it is. And if you look at it, women are really doing well today. They've taken the mantle, they've taken the bull by its horn, and they are moving on. Economically, you would agree with me that women are doing well. Yes, they are not there yet. When you look at the ratio, you want to measure, men are really, out there, they have the energy, they have all of the strength. But I would say that women are also moving forward, and we can't just stop now.
At all.
We can't.
There's a lot to be done.
Of course. There's a lot to keep pushing for. And it doesn't have to be sectorial, like, oh, this sector belongs to women, or you want them to be more involved in this sector other than this other sector. You see women even doing things, jobs that men ordinarily will do, and they are thriving. So, you know, it's a key thing that we push this forward. Yes, it's our day, and we can't overemphasize it, you know. We keep pushing this forward that women should be allowed to take more forefronts in key areas where they can explore and really do well. You know, there's this motherly attributes in women. So even when you are out there, you are in key positions, it speaks. It's not just in the house, not within the four corners of the room. Even out there, when you're doing your business and other stuff, it speaks, you know, so it goes beyond.
The woman tends to be a better manager of resources.
Yes, exactly. That is what I'm saying. You know, you see that they are outstanding in whatever it is they are dishing out, whatever it is they are doing. So, like I said again, we can't stop yet until we get there.
Now, I'm tempted to take this discussion to women in business, you know, because you can't talk about economic empowerment without women who are doing business, women who are being entrepreneur. Now, it is on record that 40% of the businesses in Nigeria are owned by women, particularly startups. But what do you think are some of the challenges that women in business face?
Well, if you agree with me, I would say funding is one of those things. You know, probably because you, I don't know, it's a personal thing. You look at it that women, like I mentioned earlier, that it's easy for them to bring in this motherly attitude. So probably you want to say they are not really meticulous when it comes to spending. So I mean, starting from the home, you have a partner and you want to say to your partner, look, there's a business I want to go into. I need some money. And he will look at you, are you sure you can do this business? No, you don't worry. Just handle the home front, you know, and I will go out, do the jobs and bring the money in. So, I mean, taking it away from home, taking it out, governance, you know, grants and all of that. Women need to be encouraged because this is a key thing for them. You know, when there are no fundings to start your business, to push it forward, it's as good as, you know, you are going nowhere. And again, maybe the fear of they don't have the strength, they don't have the energy. Hey, it has gone beyond that, you know. You see women really doing great things. I've mentioned that earlier. You see the energy they push out there. You see the strength in them and you'll be like, oh, really? Women are doing this? Of course they are, but I mean, it's one of the challenges. They look at it like they don't really have the energy. We, not they, we don't have that
the physical energy.
Yes, the physical energy. We look, let's say, like a fragile. So going out there to run, I mean, these are the things. And of course, looking at the fact that they have to take care of the home and at the same time run their business.
The woman is really a multitasker.
Honestly. So for some people, oh no, you can't do two things together. You can't be taking care of the kids, taking care of the home, at the same time you want to run a business. How will you manage it and all of that? So these, I mean, just few, a lot of challenges out there, but these are part of the challenges.
Now, tying it to the theme for this year, invest in women, accelerate progress. Now, in the area of business, investing in women could be in the area of providing them with skills necessary for them to thrive in their business. Because in the business world, in whatever sector that you are in, you need to be updated with the current skills needed to thrive in that sector. So skills gap, I would say, is one of the challenges that some women face. And as you mentioned, taking care of the home and also keeping business going is not a very easy one. So sometimes you find that the woman might be distracted, she might be limited. Now, while the man may have time to hold meetings at night with business partners, travel here and there, seeking partnership, the woman may be thinking, do I have somebody to keep my home while I go about seeking business deals?
And even when they have the time to do so, probably they have someone to take care of the kids at home. Or the partner will say, oh, are you kidding me? You really want to go for a business meeting at this time of the night? You understand? These are part of the constraints. So, I mean, if you agree with me, I don't know, we really need to keep pushing forward. I can overemphasize the fact that women need to be given the opportunity, you know, our voices need to be heard, you know, from every corner at every point in time.
All right. I want to say something before we go on a break. What Idaosa Osamanze usually says, quoting what the president of Nigeria has said, President Bola Tinubu, who said power is not served buffet, it is a la carte. You go take your own. I think that if the woman is invested in, she can take her own from any sector. She doesn't need to wait to be handed to her. But if she's given the right skills, she's equipped with the right skills, and even sometimes financial empowerment, of course, she can take her own power in the economic world a la carte without waiting for it to be served for free. Thank you so much, Grace. We're still here. It's Women's Affair. If you're looking for Femi, try again on Monday. We're going on a quick break.
In the heart of sub-Saharan Africa, where commerce meets progress, welcome to Souq News, your source for business, economy, and development insight that drive nations forward. From the vibrant streets of Lagos, Africa's fastest economic hub, Souq News takes you on a journey of discovery, analyzing and reporting the facts that lay the foundation for growth and development. We don't just report the news, we create it. Souq News is more than a channel. It is a catalyst for change, spotlighting the stories that shape economies, inspire entrepreneurs, and fuel progress. Covering business, finance, technology, energy, and many more, Souq News provides a daily deep dive into the stories that matter, interviews with industry titans, and analysis that empowers your understanding of economic landscape. Join us daily as we dissect, discuss, and deliver the most relevant and factual news on business and the economy. Souq News is your trusted guide, empowering you with the knowledge to make informed decisions.
The challenge of governance is to see how we can leverage what is on the ground and convert this to wealth for the people.
Russia, China are gaining entry into Africa, and it would appear that some Western countries are losing out.
You're working as an expatriate worker, then you're paid in your currency. But then if you must spend those money, you need to convert those money to the local currency to spend.
For Social Security to work, we need to know exactly how many we are. We don't have a precise number. We need to know exact location of people.
When we address this exchange rate volatility, we will see definitely cost of goods and services will come down.
From a security point of view, we should employ the technology to ensure that we can track individuals and goods within the continent.
This is Early Exchange with Femi Ayodele.
You know, the Early Exchange is all about shaping policy and advancing development with our conversation. Today, we're set to give you the best of programming.
And Blessing Aiche.
We do hope that you enjoy every time you spend with us here today. The world needs peace. The world needs to come to a round table and find solutions to the pockets of troubles.
Early Exchange, shaping policy, advancing development.
Many thanks for staying tuned. It is still the International Women's Day special edition of Early Exchange. Right now, let's talk about health, the impact of gender on health. By that, we mean health issues that concern women. Joining us virtually to talk about this is Mary Uzuronye Agolo, who is a registered nurse and a public health advocate. Good morning, Mary. Please unmute your mic so we can hear you.
Good morning, Blessing. Can you hear me now?
Good morning. Happy International Women's Day.
Yes, happy International Women's Day to you too. It's our day, and I can see that you decided to monopolize the show this morning.
It's our day to do Shakara.
And you are doing wonders.
All right, yes, so let's talk about gender, the impact of gender on health. So this is the day to talk about women, but you know that it takes a healthy woman to actually make all the progress that we know that a woman can make. Are there certain health challenges or health issues that a woman may be prone to by virtue of her gender?
Yes, thank you very much for that question. Happy International Women's Day to all the women watching the show this morning. Thank you for having me. Yes, there are so many, in fact, lots and lots of health issues that affect women by virtue of their gender. Women are part of the vulnerable group in the healthcare industry, and women need to be, the health of women, of course, need to be prioritized because women are prone to quite a number of infections, diseases, and disorders, that affect them. And it's unfortunate that sometimes women find it difficult to access and access healthcare, easily in their environment for many reasons that you can imagine. So some of such factors that prone women to various healthcare issues that are peculiar to their gender. If you look at it from the angle of when a girl reach menarche, that's when the girls start menstruating. Women are the ones that experience the monthly menstruation flow, which is a normal physiological process that occurs in the reproductive system of a woman. So that comes with its own challenges and health issues monthly. The flow is there that makes them, some women experience the menstrual pain, some experience they are prone to infection, and a lot. And if you leave that angle of the monthly cycle, women are the ones that go through the pain of childbirth, pregnancy and childbirth. Pregnancy, gestational period for 9 months, and then the labor pain and all the complications that comes with the antenatal, the delivery process, and even the postnatal process of childbirth. Everything is still the woman that experiences this. The man is only just going to get his wife pregnant, and the woman bears all the pain for many months. And even when the child is born, aside the maternal mortality and morbidity that comes with pregnancy and childbirth, when the child is born, the woman is still the one that goes through the psychological and the physical stress of taking care of the child. I won't lie to you, it's not like I'm being gender sentiment here, but the truth that we know is the fact that only few percentage of men assist their wives when the wife is taking care of a newborn. Most men just leave their wives to eat, and the woman is the one experiencing all the sleepless nights and everything that comes with taking care of a newborn till a certain age. Look at antenatal look at the clinics, pediatric clinics, for instance. If you go to healthcare facilities and go and check the pediatric ward or the pediatric clinic, that's the ward where children are taken care of, you would barely see a man there with a child to assess healthcare for the child. It is still the mother of the child that will be there. Now, leaving the motherhood and the childhood, maternal and child health from this discussion, going forward to other disorders that affect women, there are so many peculiar disorders that affect women because of their peculiar body structure and anatomy. For instance, breast cancer. Breast cancer is peculiar to women. We have more women experiencing coming down with breast cancer than men. Of course, men do have breast cancer too, but you would rarely see a man have breast cancer because their own breast is rudimentary. So the woman is the one that has all the tissues, the fat and everything in the breast, because the breast is part of the reproductive anatomic organ in the woman's health. So women are the ones that come down with breast cancer. They are the ones that come down with fibroid. Look at fibroid, for instance. Fibroid is now like a very rampant, common issue with women of childbearing age. Gone are the days when we believe some of these illnesses affect women in the postmenopausal stage of life. But now, once you have gotten to that childbearing age of 25 and above, you are prone to so many illnesses that affect the womanhood. The fibroid is there. If you have 100 women now, you would barely see 20 who don't have fibroid, who are not living with fibroid. And cervical cancer is also part of it because the woman is the one that has the cervix. Definitely. because the woman is the one that has a cervix. Definitely, she's prone to cervical cancer if care is not taken and if some healthcare preventive measures are not taken. So a lot and lot of it. Now, coming to the psychological health, the mental health issues, because the woman multitasks. I listened to the guest you interviewed earlier, and she talked about the fact that one of the peculiarities of women is the fact that women multitask. Of course, and I tell you, in as much as that multitasking is a very nice attribute for a woman, the fact still remains that that multitasking is a problem for a woman, because the woman has the strength to multitask. The woman goes through a whole lot of psychological imbalance, mental health issues, and all. The woman is the one that wants to keep a job or run a business, wants to be a daughter to her family, wants to be a sister to her siblings, wants to be a wife to her husband, and still wants to be the good mother to her children. And then she will not have all these other appendages, duties here and there. She's a worker in church, she is a community leader, she's doing this advocacy, she's trying to run a career and everything. So when a woman wakes up in the morning, the woman wakes up as early as maybe 3 a.m., she barely gets to sleep, so sleep and rest is already away from the things she's supposed to do to stay healthy. She doesn't get good sleep because she has to wake up very early to tend to her children, prepare them for school, cook for them, cook for the husband. And most of the time, not many men are actually very helpful in the home front. So all these are many more, apart of things that affect women psychologically. They don't get enough rest. They don't their minds are not at rest. They are somewhere, they are thinking of something else. They are somewhere, their mind has traveled very far, trying to see how they can manage a whole lot of things. So all these are things that healthcare issues that affect women just because they are women. Being a woman, being a feminine gender is actually not a problem. But the fact is that this gender comes with a lot of challenges.
All right, Grace is actually my co-anchor on the show and not a guest. Now, Grace, you've heard a lot of things that Dr. Zuriye has said. Being a female sometimes predisposes you to some health challenges. Now, but I don't know. You have something to ask.
Obviously, I have a question to ask, and because it's an International Women's Day, I think I see this as an opportunity to also talk to women. To talk to women. So my question goes we have seen nurses or our medical practitioners within the hospital environment, and when it comes to women, women's care. So basically for those that goes for antenatal and all of them, the attention they receive, the sensitivity. So how well would you say women have improved? Because I really want you to speak to women. We see the way, they attend to these women, coming for antenatal and all of that. So over the years that has happened, and I want to believe because the world is changing, I want to believe that change is supposed to have extended to every medical homes. So how well would you say the nurses, the doctors, the medical practitioners have improved in their means of attending, especially to women, when they come for medical care?
Okay, thank you very much. Sorry for that mistake. I actually thought you were a guest. Yeah, so, okay. Nurses have actually improved. I can only speak from the angle of a nurse, because I am a nurse. I'm a registered nurse. So, things have changed. Yes, I won't shy away from the fact that I've also heard about that believe and all those happenings, especially public health facilities, that the way healthcare professionals, treat women and all that. But I tell you, things have evolved. We have the new generation nurses now, the 21st century nurses, and nurses who have improved. The way nurses have been trained now is better. It has improved, and so there are better mindsets and all that. And I tell you, one of the things that used to be a problem then, that came to play in this kind of issue you mentioned, is the fact that a lot of healthcare professionals don't know how to put their emotions aside and face their professionalism. Most of them, and you would agree with me that nursing profession has 80% of this feminine gender in them. So you have more of women in this profession. And so the problem that is affecting women, the feminine gender generally, is also affecting them. So most of them also come to work bearing a very big baggage, emotional baggage or problems from their own front, from their own personal issues and all that. And they find it difficult to separate it from their professional duties. So they tend to bring in their emotions into work, and it affects the way they attend to the patient, the pregnant woman, or whoever it is that tending to. But I tell you, things have actually improved now. We are prioritizing the health of women, and I think that is what should be done in the healthcare industry generally, and not just the pregnant woman, not just the nursing mother or something. Generally, the health of women should be prioritized. When you see people in the hospital, if the man is not having an emergency case, then prioritize the woman's case. Attend to the woman. Women and children should be prioritized in the healthcare industry. And nurses have actually really improved in their in the way of attending to women, attending to patients generally. Things have really improved. Nurses are being trained better. Nurses are having a good orientation now. Nurses have better knowledge of so many of those things and all that. And I can really tell you for a fact that things have improved as regards the way women are treated at the clinics, in the wards and in the outpatient departments, in every way that women come to access healthcare service.
So how does poverty and illiteracy affect the woman's health? What role does it play?
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much. Of course, poverty and illiteracy affect women's health. What you don't know, you don't know. Ignorance is a disease. In fact, if you don't know something, that thing becomes like something superior to you because you don't know it. A lot of women are still out there ignorant of the things they are supposed to do and the things they are not supposed to do to stay healthy, to promote health, to prevent illness. And that is what public health is all about. And that is part of things I do in the society with advocacy, because most of the time, these women have poor knowledge of antenatal issues, postnatal issues, things that they should do, the things they should do for their children, how to manage their own funds, how to stay healthy, and all that. So preventive health advocacy is important. Health promotion advocacy is important. Public health is important. So knowledge is actually really important for women. When we're talking about empowering the women, as regards the theme of this year's International Women's Day, Invest in Women, Accelerate Progress, it is not only to empower women in terms of business, in career and all that. Yes, that is part of it, because we need to help them so that they can overcome poverty. But another way we can also empower them is to empower them with knowledge, adequate knowledge and education and things they should know, advocacy, teaching them. That is part of the ways we can also empower them. And knowledge in healthcare is very important for the woman. How do you prevent sickness? How do you prevent infection? The reproductive organ, let me use this as an example. The reproductive organ system of a woman, it opens to the outside. That's the external reproductive organ, and it is very prone to infection because of the anatomical structure of it, because it is very open compared to the way the man's own is being structured. So that alone is a thing of big, in fact, is a big topic on its own that a woman needs to know about. What are the things you should do to take care of your external reproductive organs so that you don't get prone to infection all the time? So how do you take care of yourself as a woman when you're doing your monthly flow? How do you take care of yourself? Menstrual hygiene is a very key topic that women need to be educated about. Pregnancy issues, all these things are things. Then poverty now. Coming to how poverty affects women's health, a woman who is not financially empowered cannot be able to access healthcare easily in Nigeria today. Look at what the economy is saying. For instance, medications are very expensive. Healthcare industry, accessing healthcare industry is becoming really more difficult for people now because things are expensive. Consultation fee of 2,000 naira before in some hospitals has increased, has doubled to like 5,000 naira and all that. So most of the time, sometimes when women are sick, they don't want to access healthcare because they don't have the money. They don't have the funds. They cannot afford it, and even for their children too, they can't afford it. So most times they just stay at home, and then the symptoms they're having keep on and on and on, and it gets worse and worse. And before you know what is happening, we're losing a woman already. So if we're trying to solve the problem of women's health, then we need to give them the adequate knowledge using various platforms. I am a public health advocate. I run healthcare shows on radio, health talk shows on radio, just to keep educating the public, about their health, especially women. And we need to use various platforms, organize programs with them, especially for rural women. Especially for rural women, when we go to the villages, you see a lot of women suffering. They don't have easy access to healthcare system. Public health, primary healthcare system, for instance, the primary healthcare is not really doing enough. Sorry to say, but it is the harsh reality. Primary healthcare is not doing enough. I have gone for medical outreach in rural areas where they tell me that the primary healthcare center in their community has not been functioning for a while because doctors don't come, nurses barely come. Maybe the nurse will come maybe once a week, doctors will come once a month and all that. So this is not me trying to shade them, but this is the harsh reality. So if we want to really help women's health, we need to help them by empowering them knowledgeably. So if they don't even have easy healthcare easy way to access healthcare when they fall sick, why don't we empower them with the right knowledge for them not to fall sick at all? Why don't we empower them with all the things they need to do to promote their health? Hygiene, give them a good environment to live in, teach them how to keep their environment clean, teach them how to take good care of themselves and their children, give them just basic amenities that will help them to stay healthy, and they won't even have to be running to the hospital all the time. And then to cure poverty, empower them with skills empowerment, teach them some of the things that they can do to make money for themselves. And then we need to also foster health insurance for women and children. I don't know what we are doing with health insurance in Nigeria, but I tell you, it is not something that is really yet accepted widely, and it is really not the publicity of health insurance has not really gone very wide like that. So if it is something that has gone really general and widely accepted and all that, that will really help women a lot in terms of solving the problem of poverty with healthcare. Because once a woman does not have money, she doesn't have a source of income, she doesn't have she doesn't have funds, the only thing she'll be thinking of is what she can eat and what her children would eat. When they fall sick, she would not bother to access healthcare because she doesn't have money to do that. All she would do is take them to somewhere they can drink agbo, and then just use the local things that might even compound the problem they're having, give them more infections, and then just worsen the situation for them.
All right, Mary, we'll take a quick break and then we'll return to talk more on women's health. Stay tuned.
In the heart of sub-Saharan Africa, where commerce meets progress, welcome to Souq News, your source for business, economy, and development insight that drive nations forward. From the vibrant streets of Lagos, Africa's fastest economic hub, Souq News takes you on a journey of discovery, analyzing and reporting the facts that lay the foundation for growth and development. We don't just report the news, we create it. Souq News is more than a channel. It is a catalyst for change, spotlighting the stories that shape economies, inspire entrepreneurs, and fuel progress. covering business, finance, technology, energy, and many more. Souq News provides a daily deep dive into the stories that matter, interviews with industry titans, and analysis that empowers your understanding of economic landscape. Join us daily as we dissect, discuss, and deliver the most relevant and factual news on business and the economy. Souq News is your trusted guide, empowering you with the knowledge to make informed decisions.
My name is Yinka Babalola.
My name is Ijoma Pelokoro.
My name is Joshua Hassan.
I am Rotarian or Mosunde Lawson.
It's Ife Yonwarita Ejeze. My friends call me Ife.
My name is Rotarian Lola Dare. I'm inviting you to keep watching Souq News. It's the right station to tune to.
I like Souq News. Souq News is good.
I want to charge you all to listen to Souq News, watch the news.
You can have unlimited news first time.
Find Souq News. Be with Souq News. Never switch off. You are better for it. Souq News is the real thing.
Listen to their coverage and you'll be glad you did.
Turn to your YouTube, turn to your Instagram, turn to all your digital channels and look for Souq News.
Keep watching.
Keep watching.
Please guys, keep watching
Souq News.
The challenge of governance is to see how we can leverage what is on the ground and convert this to wealth for the people.
Russia, China are gaining entry into Africa, and it would appear that some Western countries are losing out.
You're working as an expatriate worker, then you're paid in your currency. But then if you must spend those money, you need to convert those money to the local currency to spend.
For Social Security to work, we need to know exactly how many we are. We don't have a precise number. We need to know exact location of people.
When we address this exchange rate volatility, we will see definitely cost of goods and services will come down.
From a security point of view, we should employ the technology to ensure that we can track individuals and goods within the continent.
This early exchange with Femi Ayodele.
You know, the early exchange is all about shaping policy and advancing development with our conversation. Today, we're set to give you the best of programming.
And Blessing Aiche.
We do hope that you enjoy every time you spend with us here today. The world needs peace. The world needs to come to a round table and find solutions to the pockets of troubles.
Early exchange, shaping policy, advancing development.
Thanks for staying tuned to Early Exchange. We're looking at women's health, the impact of gender on the woman's health. And we have Dr. Mary Agolo with us, and she has been joining us virtually. All right, let's continue the conversation with her as we talk more on women's health.
All right, thank you, Dr. Mary. We're talking about inclusivity. You know, and the team for this year actually talked about inspire inclusion.
Yes.
You get it now, and that's the major campaign drive for 2024 International Women's Day. And here is my question: when you talk about inclusivity in the medical space, we see a lot of the male folks, appear as doctors. So you go to a hospital and you say you want to see a doctor. Usually, you see that they are men. And I want to ask, where is that inclusivity in that sector, in that industry? And I think that question is what I want to ask Dr. Mary.
Mary's a nurse.
Yeah, she's a nurse, yeah, but she
wants her to become a doctor so that it will answer Grace's question on inclusion in the medical practice, so that we get to see more doctors as much as we see lots of more female doctors as much as we see female nurses.
Of course, of course.
Mary, what's your response to that?
I'm a registered nurse. I'm not a doctor. Yeah, so well, I mentioned earlier that we also have that problem in the nursing profession where we have more female gender in the profession, and that's the same thing with the medical profession. That medicine is being studied more by male, but I think things are actually really different now. Things are improving, things are changing. We now have females, going to study medicine, and I think it's a problem of the demand of the course. The course is really it can be really so tedious for them. So most times, you rarely see females going to face the orders and the struggles of becoming a doctor for 7 years, do asthmaship and then go for service and do this and do that before you can become a full-fledged doctor. But the truth is, as much as doctors can help patients, nurses can also help patients. So fine, if leave the fact that you see females as nurses and you see males as doctors, whether things have changed or it's changing or not. The fact is that even the male gender as doctors are helping patients. We have male doctors who are gynecologists and they help women in women's health. So inclusivity, like yourself, yes, like you mentioned, nothing is stopping the female gender from studying medicine, as far as the same thing with the male gender studying nursing. So no one is saying the male gender should not come into nursing, and no one is saying the female gender should not go into medicine. So anybody that wants to become a doctor can become a doctor. Anybody that wants to become a nurse can become a nurse. It's a mindset thing. And most times, because people have ascribed a particular gender to a profession, that mindset just keep going on and on and on, and people just keep passing that mindset to others, and it just keeps going. The same thing with engineering too. You have few females in engineering, you have more male engineers. So nothing stops the female gender from being doctors. So this is a gender inclusive profession. It's a profession that is open to everyone. So as long as the female gender is ready to take up the struggle, the orders, the challenges that comes with it, why not? Females, in fact, we are encouraging more females to take up this medical profession, go and study medicine, so that we can even get to a point in the healthcare industry where female doctors will be the ones attending to females, especially when it comes to the gynecological issues, and then male doctors attending to males. Because personally, when it comes to gynecological issues, when I go to the hospital, I prefer to be attended to by a female doctor. So we are going to have a problem if we have only few female doctors. So we are encouraging female doctors. So nothing is, as far as I'm concerned, nothing is stopping females from studying medicine. So we want to see more female doctors in the profession, and nothing is stopping the male gender from studying nursing now. So we want to see male nurses in the profession too. So this is a gender inclusive profession. It is open to all gender. It is. I don't think there is any university or institution of learning where they would say because you're a female, you don't stand a chance to get admission, especially if you qualify for it.
Okay, so as we wrap up, let's look at what can be done to improve the women's health. You've talked about creating an enabling environment. But some time ago, there was this advocacy for subsidy for sanitary towels for women, and that advocacy rode on the back of the reasoning that it is not a choice for women to have monthly cycle. It is nature, and they will have it except the woman is pregnant or has some other underlying health issues. But we find that some organizations wanting to promote safe sexual activity, they even give for free or subsidize contraceptives. But when it comes to sanitary towel for women, particularly in the rural area, that's a challenge. And if you check now the cost of it in many pharmacies or stores where you can get it, it has increased. Amidst the economic challenges in African countries, what do you think can be done about it, or the government and organizations should do, particularly as we talk about investing in the women, accelerating progress? And what else can the woman do to invest in herself, accelerate her progress, maintain her health?
Thank you very much. And if I want to say this, I will say that the same thing we've been advocating about, the same thing we've been saying that they should do is what they should still do. You know, when we are talking about investing in healthcare for the female gender, it's hygiene. Menstrual hygiene advocacy has been on and on and on and on for a while, but we just have more talks and less action. We just keep talking and talking and talking, and nothing is done about it. So the problem keeps lingering on for how long, I don't know how long it's going to last. So when contraceptives is made free, given for free, especially condoms, let me even call the name, you know, when they give it for free because they believe that, oh, we want to prevent infection, unwanted pregnancy, this, that, and all that. So what about a woman who doesn't have a choice? She can't even choose whether to experience a cycle or not. She doesn't have a choice. It has to come. And like you said, very true. This thing is so expensive now. Sanitary towels are so expensive that before now it was even expensive. Before now, when it was not this expensive, a lot of women cannot afford it. Now that it is even more expensive and the economy is so stifling, it now becomes worse. So some women who were able to afford it before now cannot even afford it again. Everybody is looking for money to eat now. It is not even money for sanitary towel they are looking for. You understand? So I will still keep encouraging, just the same way we public health advocates have been encouraging organizations. I will still have to say the same thing we've been saying for years, that organizations should please subsidize the price of sanitary towels, you know, subsidize the price, give it for free. We have some clinics. We have some clinics in primary, some primary healthcare clinics that you can. The family planning department is free. All you just need to do is just pay for card. Once you have your card, you go to the family planning department, the contraceptive, everything is free. You don't pay for anything. Can we also incorporate giving sanitary towel for free in that clinic, where a woman can just walk in and say, oh, my name is so, this is my card, I'm registered to this hospital, my monthly flow is going to start in 2 days and I don't have a sanitary towel, and she's given a supply of what will be enough for her for that month. We can actually achieve that if we really want to, if we set our minds to it. So we are calling on organizations, you know, NGOs, even the government can actually help in this wise too, you know. Let them also invest in this thing. This is part of the ways you should invest in women's health. If you're investing in women's health, giving them the right knowledge, giving them the right information, giving them, teaching them skills that can help them to make money, fine. This is menstrual hygiene is also one of the things you can use to invest in them. We teach women about menstrual hygiene in their monthly flow. We teach them how to clean themselves so that they can prevent illness. But all this teaching would not work if they don't have the right material and resources to take care of themselves at that point, during that period. So they can be given sanitary towels for free. They can be given disinfectants for free, you know, the disinfectant that they can use to prevent infection at that period, you know, and they are given health talk, you know, give them the right knowledge. And this will go a long way. So I am still also adding my voice to the menstrual hygiene advocacy, that NGOs, the government, everybody, please come forward and help those women in the terms of menstrual hygiene. Let's make sanitary towel free. You know, if we have investors investing in the business of sanitary towel production, for instance, you know, and it's produced en masse, like it's produced in very large quantities. If we have more companies producing it, maybe the price will drop. If we have a particular company that the government can actually just invest in, and the product that particular company is giving out is free, or the price is dropped, just to help the women, just to help the masses. It is not okay to only prioritize family planning and contraceptive and leave the menstrual cycle alone. Let us also help women in terms of menstrual hygiene, because this thing is not something they can choose to do or choose not to do. It's something that will come. And I tell you, women are going through a lot in terms of experiencing their cycle every month. Dysmenorrhea is there, as the menstrual pain. Some of them have infection back to back. So there's a lot of problems. The mood swings, everything that comes with it every month. So this is one of the ways we can ease their pain. This is one of the ways we can actually stand with women. Stand with women and let us know that you are supporting us. You encourage us in this way, so that we can know that the government also loves us. I understand. You understand what I'm trying to say? So all these are ways that we can actually help women to keep healthy in terms of menstrual hygiene.
All right, thank you very much, Dr. Mary. Yes, before we let you go, I'd like to ask you this question. You've said a lot about the industry and women, but I want you to speak to women's achievement so far in your industry. So how would you measure women's achievement in the medical sector?
Yes, so far, although we have more male leaders in the medical sector than female leaders, we have more. If you look at the statistics of CMDs of hospitals, the chief medical directors of hospitals, especially even the public hospitals, you rarely see a female CMD, you rarely see a female MD. So it's always the male gender taking the leadership position in hospitals and healthcare industry. But I tell you, women are achieving a lot in healthcare industry too. Women are also really trying to put their efforts forward, but it's just that the environment, it's not really enabling, it's not very encouraging for them. In a profession, in an industry, let me cite this now. In an industry like healthcare industry, where it is believed and perceived that the doctors should be superior over every other player in that industry, and the doctors are more of males than females. So you see where the problem is. So the society believe, the doctor is superior to nurses, to lab scientists, to pharmacists, to radiologists, and every other member of the health team. And this profession, the doctors are still the ones taking the leadership role. So definitely we have more males in the industry, in the leadership role, taking the leadership role in the healthcare industry. But so women are just trying their best to also come up, put in their efforts, and those of them that are actually coming up are really doing well. They are really doing well. So women are achieving. We have female nurses who have achieved in this industry. We have female doctors who are actually representing the gender well. We have female pharmacists, we have female radiologists, female lab scientists. All these are women in the healthcare industry, and actually they are really coming up. I am a female too, and I'm actually really doing well in my profession. In 2020, I was listed as one of the 100 outstanding female nurses in the world by Women in Global Health, and in conjunction with World Health Organization, because of my involvement in media, using media as a tool to create more, to promote health, to prevent illness, to create health awareness. And it is something that we really don't have many healthcare professionals doing. So because I decided to carve a niche for myself in the healthcare industry, I decided to do something different. I stand out, and I was recognized for that internationally. So you see, women are actually really doing well. I am a woman, I am doing well in the healthcare industry. And I can tell you so many women in the healthcare industry, as a nurse, as doctors, as medical scientists, as lab scientists, as radiologists, are actually really doing well. But all we just ask for is the enabling environment. Encourage us more. Give us that enabling environment. Make things easy for us. It's not okay for us to keep prioritizing a particular gender over the other. We can be human together. What a man can achieve, a woman can even achieve more if she's given the same opportunity and encouragement and motivation that a man gets. So let us help the girl child grow too. Let us help the woman, the feminine gender grow too, so that everybody, if we see the two genders as equal, we won't have a problem with voting for a woman to become president of a country. We won't have a problem of making a woman the CMD of a federal government hospital. We won't have a problem with having a woman take up leadership roles. But now when a woman comes out in the healthcare industry and says, I want to vie for this position, they'll first of all look at you, maybe only one woman among like 10 men, they'll look at you and tell you, just you go and sit down and step down for the men. And I would like to encourage the women too. Let us not see ourselves as the inferior gender. Let us also come up to do these things. It is the willing spirit. When you have that willing spirit to want to do, people will give you the opportunity. You go get coconut head. Me, I get coconut head. So nobody can even shove me aside. So if you put yourself in that angle, in that perspective of nobody can shove you aside, you know what you want to achieve, you know what you want to do in whatever industry you're in. I'm talking to women generally now, not just even in the healthcare industry. If you know what you want to achieve and you set your mind at it, nothing will stop you. Nothing will stop you. Women need to learn to live beyond and act beyond their gender affinity. Your gender affinity does not stop you. It doesn't even debar you from doing whatever you want to do. It doesn't debar you from achieving what you want to achieve if you set your mind at it. So I am rooting for the female gender in the healthcare industry, that we want to see more leaders. We want to see more leaders in the healthcare industry as females. We want to see more female leaders in the healthcare industry. We want to see more female CMDs. We want to see more heads of departments of different units in the healthcare industry as females. Women are actually really coming up. They are reading books. They are getting more education. They are coming up with innovative ideas, but we need the enabling environment and we need the other gender to cooperate with us and stop seeing us less.
Yes, when you said they should have coconut head and that you have coconut head, for those who are not Nigerians, who do not understand what it means, she's only asking that you become strong-willed so that you don't give up easily. You push against the odds to achieve greatness. But thank you so much, Nurse Mary Ozuriagolo, for being with us today as we celebrate International Women's Day, focusing on women's health. We do hope that the appropriate quarters receive this message, particularly as it concerns creating the enabling environment for women in the health profession to thrive, women to have access to quality health service, and also be able to take care of their personal health. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Listen.
All right, we're going to quick break and want you to watch a special report on the International Women's Day. After that, we'll be right back with a media veteran and we're talking more on women. It's our day, don't forget that.
In many households, women have emerged as an important figure, challenging traditional perceptions that labeled them as the fragile gender. This role extends beyond domestic boundaries, making significant contributions to the economy and fostering the growth and development of businesses. They are recognized for their uniqueness and tremendous abilities in nurturing homes, enhancing the overall well-being of their families, contributing to governance and socio-economic spaces. The celebration of International Women's Day on every 8th of March is as a result of the 1945 Agreement of the United Nations affirming the principle of equality between women and men. and the first of its kind was officially celebrated in the year 1975. This year's theme of International Women's Day, Invest in Women, Accelerate Progress, is aimed at tackling economic disempowerment, ensuring that women are dignified and given their rightful place. During the 17th and 18th centuries, women primarily were faced with certain cultural rules, restricting them from taking some actions or having any form of choice. However, the modern era have witnessed a shift in societal norms as women now make decisions without fear of judgment or penalties. They enjoy equal rights in education and employment, among others. Founding their voices, they participate in politics, diversifying their roles in legislation, management, entrepreneurship, and decision-making processes. From the place of motherhood, they play a strong role in the reduction of poverty and often recognized as the primary caregivers of children and elders worldwide. Their influence extends beyond family, and the drive for exploration has brought about the decline in early marriages as there are more focus on education, leading to outstanding involvement in their various environments and beyond. Despite their undeniable contributions, women still face some challenges, such as unequal access to some opportunities, persistent gender biases, and underrepresentation in various spheres. To address these issues, continued advocacy for gender equality, dismantling harmful stereotypes and unconscious biases, fostering inclusive environments that empower women to reach their full potential are all essential steps, even as we commemorate the International Women's Day. By working together, we can create a world where women's voices are continually heard, their rights protected, and their contributions fully recognized and celebrated. Happy International Women's Day. Grace Komolafe, Souq News.
In the heart of sub-Saharan Africa, where commerce meets progress, welcome to Souq News, your source for business, economy, and development insight that drive nations forward. From the vibrant streets of Lagos, Africa's fastest economic hub, Souq News takes you on a journey of discovery, analyzing and reporting the facts that lay the foundation for growth and development. We don't just report the news, we create it. Souq News is more than a channel. It is a catalyst for change, spotlighting the stories that shape economies, inspire entrepreneurs, and fuel progress. Covering business, finance, technology, energy, and many more, Souq News provides a daily deep dive into the stories that matter, interviews with industry titans, and analysis that empowers your understanding of economic landscape. Join us daily as we dissect, discuss, and deliver the most relevant and factual news on business and the economy. Souq News is your trusted guide, empowering you with the knowledge to make informed decisions.
My name is Dr. Rafiu Oladipo.
My name is Baba Jalal Repega.
I'm Reverend Juliet Benite.
I'm Godio Didi.
My name is Professor Oladokun Sulaiman Olarawaju.
Souq News is on the ground, loading.
Very enlightening, very educative, and entertaining.
Thank you to Souq News.
So I'm happy that Souq TV has come into existence.
I'm happy to be here in the Souq News.
I want to encourage you to subscribe to the channel and keep watching news that makes sense.
As Browning said, one's extension of one's reach should not exceed one's grasp, or what is heaven for. And I think Souq News is doing that.
Africa needs a voice of truth, and Souq News has become one of them. And get ready, get ready, get ready.
And keep watching.
Keep watching Souq News.
Keep watching Souq News. It's a place to be.
Keep watching Souq News.
The challenge of governance is to see how we can leverage what is on the ground and convert this to wealth for the people.
Russia, China are gaining entry into Africa, and it would appear that some Western countries are losing out.
You're working as an expatriate worker, then you're paid in your currency. But then if you must spend those money, you need to convert those money to the local currency to spend.
For Social Security to work, we need to know exactly how many we are. We don't have a precise number. We need to know exact location of people.
When we address this exchange rate volatility, we will see definitely cost of goods and services will come down.
From a security point of view, we should employ the technology to ensure that we can track individuals and goods within the continent.
This is Early Exchange with Femi Ayodele.
You know, the Early Exchange is all about shaping policy and advancing development with our conversation. Today, we're set to give you the best of programming.
And Blessing Aiche.
We do hope that you enjoy every time you spend with us here today. The world needs peace. The world needs to come to a round table and find solutions to the pockets of troubles.
Early Exchange, shaping policy, advancing development.
It's good to know you're still with us on Early Exchange, the special edition courtesy International Women's Day celebration. And we have with us in the studio veteran broadcaster Julie Coker. You know the media is referred to as the fourth estate of the realm. So who better to take a critical look at the development of women and the way society has been structured and say, well, let's see, what have we achieved? How much of inclusion has the society given to women? Good morning, ma. I like that you're wearing the official color code for International Women's Day, which is purple. You look radiant in it.
Thank you very much. You are radiant as well in red.
Well, what can I do when I'm seated close to the veteran broadcaster? I must do likewise.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Well, we're in business.
Okay.
We're always there,
okay,
in the forefront. Broadcasters, anywhere in the world. There are so many women to be celebrated on a day like this. Not only international women like Christine Amanpour, or what's the other one? The American one, who is the richest woman in the world now. I forget her name right now, but I know you know who I'm talking about. But here in Nigeria, there have been a lot of women who have made their contributions, and no man has been able to put them down. Victoria Ezeokoli, she actually was the director of programs for many years, and she created Tales by Moonlight. There have been women in the forefront. We're not talking about the media now. We're just talking about women who have been there. Anike Agbaje Williams was the first face on television in Ibadan in those days. And later on, she became a director on the radio WNBS, and so on and so forth. Its list is, limitless. It goes on and on. And of course, we've had women who have performed very well as ministers, and also director generals, head of service. I don't think such women, nobody was able to put them down in their own time, because they had a lot of, first-class performance. They've always been there. And the first permanent secretary I actually met in those days was in Ibadan, Mrs. Odalo. We never heard of anything called permanent secretary. We said, secretaries are secretaries. How have they been permanent?
Why is this called permanent secretary?
The other men are permanent people under Chief Adebo, who was a very strict person, a force to be reckoned with. He later became ambassador at the UN. But he was the one who actually discovered Mrs. Odalo. And now her son is vying to be governor of Edo State. So you see, all those years, people still remember the kind of service, that she was able to offer And you can't forget such people in a hurry. When you think of Fela's song, African woman no go agree. She won't even allow you to push her over. She can't even do that where our women are. And so there has been a lot
there's
of
so many women.
equality.
Let's even start from women in the media, begin to celebrate them. Now, you have mentioned Christina Amapo, you have Oprah Winfrey. Those are icons, global icons when you talk about women in media. But I believe it wasn't so easy for them to have gotten there and become global icons. Now, looking back from the time when women started fighting for better treatment, for equality, till now, how do you think it has been for women in the media?
Movement for women's emancipation in England, I think in the 19th century, when women were not even, didn't have the right to vote, is the force of the women of Great Britain that came together and bulldozed their way into the parliament and said, well, we are now going to get our way. Equal rights for women on all fronts. Women have then, people like Florence Nightingale, she had already paid her dues, during the war years, and she was known as the lady with the lamb because she went to visit all the wounded soldiers, and she went every night to give them a word of comfort, and for those that have lost members of their family, she went to comfort them and to commiserate with them. So she was already, those women that were there at that time, you can't ever forget them. Statues have been erected in their memory. And I always think of the late Queen of England, Elizabeth II. There were just two of them by their parents. So it's not like in Nigeria where you'll be looking for a man, carrying a lamp to look for a man somewhere, hiding somewhere, and waiting for the oracle to tell you what to go. No, this has already been established that if the king has a daughter, when you say the king is dead, long live the queen. And she was there for 70-something years. And she was humble. She performed so creditably that people didn't even want her to die at 95. Of course, she had made a lot of impact in all the assignments that she was given. Right from the time she was told in Kenya that her father had died, she was ready to mourn, and she was prepared to ascend the throne. And she did it creditably. What I remember most about her was when she was celebrating her 70th year as the longest reigning queen, reigning monarch for that matter. She had a little, skit in which she performed, something for the children to remember her by. Paddington Bear was sitting there, and she came with her bag. And she said, you must always be prepared wherever you go with your own sandwich in your bag so that you'll never be disappointed. If people don't offer you a drink on time, when they see you bring out your sandwich, they'll remember that you need a cup of tea.
Oh.
And she said that you must not eat more than 2 slices. This is a message that I have for our women in Nigeria. Women are eager to feed their children properly, yes, but don't overdo it. I saw a woman once who had a big bowl of rice, and she wanted that child to finish that bowl of rice. That's the first stage to greed and avarice. When you get your child to demolish a whole bowl of rice or a bar or whatever. But I learned that lesson from the Queen, and when I went for a meeting with some other ladies after watching her, because we were at a show where, they gave us tickets to have tea with the Queen. And I said, have we learned something from here? And they all agreed with me, Nigerian women. We were not only Nigerian, African and, English women, everybody was around celebrating with the Queen. And when you overfeed your child, that child will never get satisfaction in other aspects of life. So that's how you have our men, looking for more women, looking for more money and grabbing all the money. They think they can do it and take it all from the women, but women still hold the purse. They know how to manage very well. So if you learn something from the Queen, although if you don't feed your child well in Nigeria, they say, oh, it's because you are poor. But that's not the main thing.
So there's a limit to it, and you should know what that would mean for the child.
But know how to limit, the amount of food you are serving your family. Don't starve them, because then they will be looking out for,
something else.
Other people's food and property. But make sure they are well fed, but not overfed.
Okay. Okay. So, I mean, you've been in the industry for decades as a veteran, and you've got wealth of experience, so to say. But I want to say, what we see today, I mean, you see the male folks, you see the female gender, the male gender, doing their job, everybody, side to side, doing what they can do. Would you say that this is how it has been from the scratch? What are the challenges, especially that the female, gender actually experienced during your time, in the industry? Is it the same? Has something changed?
Well, once you have the talent, that's the main thing. If you haven't got the talent, then you haven't got it. Then you have no business being there. There's no amount of, godfatherism or whatever that can keep anybody in broadcasting beyond a certain, period of time, because it shows in what you do in your performance. If you are good, you are good. In our own days, you couldn't ad-lib. Everything was written out for you on the teleprompter. Even before the teleprompter came, somebody there, carrying a little board to show you how to go, what steps to take, so that you don't, say the wrong thing. Of course, there were white people in charge. Our technical partners were either American or Australian or British. So they had charted that course for us, and we tried very, very tenaciously to keep to their advice and the direction they were leading us. There were a lot of women in broadcasting then. There were no obstacles put in anybody's way. I didn't have like a formal audition. I just went to have tea or coffee because my uncle was the Attorney General, Justice Iodaro. And he took me to the station and said, well, I have someone for you who has been Miss Western Nigeria, so see whether she can fit in here. And we sat down and we talked, and they wanted me to tell them about the best dish in Nigeria, and I told them it was the banga soup and starch. They've never heard of anyone eating starch. And they were so, fascinated by the way I gave them told them about the recipe. Their wife was sitting there. I knew it wasn't going to be easy for her to make. But there you are, something they've never heard of. So that was enough. And later on they asked, how come you're not speaking with a Nigerian accent? I wasn't aware of that at the time. But to God be the glory, at the time, the schools I went to, they made sure that we had good elocution training, Holy Child College and St. Mary's Convent School. So I wasn't aware of the fact that I didn't have a Nigerian accent. In fact, I was embarrassed at how come I don't have a Nigerian accent. If I went anywhere and people spoke with me, they would think I was just putting on an act or being false or anything. And I've always, been on that level. So if you have a good background and you're able to maintain that with all humility, you will make it. Because I think I spent over 35 years. The limit there was then 35, but I went beyond that. Some years ago, I was celebrating 65 years in broadcasting. Because sometimes when I go abroad, I'm asked to do one or two things for some Nigerian channels in England. And here in Nigeria, they invite us to help in training some new talents. So you're always there. And whenever the station is having its anniversary, they invite all us veterans to deliver the news and see how far we can still go. I don't know how much time the makeup artist is going to spend on me, but I still try to put in my best as much as possible. Now, when people talk about men trying, to get, speak to people in areas that are not very palatable, something that you were not taught at home, that if you went for work, you should speak nice to people and be gentle and also kind when you get to a high position. But I've never had any man come to me, with a request that is not palatable. It has never happened to me before, and I won't lie about it. And most of my colleagues, I check with them. Someone like Bimbo Oloyede, for instance, she was in the graphics department. She was an artist. And we had to actually, I don't know how, it wasn't possible for us to get her to swing to actually appearing on TV. She said, that's not why I came here. But we said, during the death of the coup that took General Muritala Muhammad, they gave us some poetry to read on air. And everybody was bowled over. That's, wow. So you have this hidden talent here somewhere. And we requested for her to come on TV. She said, no way. So we had to go and get it was until Mrs. Iruku, who was then the director on radio, was transferred to television, that spoke to her and said, well, I didn't start by being on TV. I was on radio. But later on, I find myself on TV. What are we going to do about that? So you come with me on one of the programs. And that's how a woman convinced her to come. If it was a man, they would say, oh, the man wants to do something with her. That's why he wants her to come on. No. Most of the people that are there, behave above board. People like Christopher Kolade, they're always kind and make sure that, you did your work well. And you did everything to make viewers at home happy. That's your main intention.
Okay.
To entertain, to educate, and to, make sure that people are quite happy with watching that channel.
So this year, the International Women's Day focuses on investing in women, accelerating progress. It also focuses on inspiring inclusion. Now, let me go back to the example you gave of what the Queen said, that you must have your own sandwich in your bag or in your purse, so that when you bring it out, people remember to give you a cup of tea. So let's link that up with inclusion. What would inclusion mean today for the woman? What areas does she need to be included in? And for one who wants to be included, so you want to take a cup of tea, but you don't have, but you need to bring out your sandwich for people to know that you need a cup of tea. How can the woman show she wants to be included so people remember to give the support that will make her included?
Wow. Well, in my own case, I wasn't aware of any kind of discrimination against women. I was only 19 years old. I was a greenhorn when I went into broadcasting. I wasn't carrying a sandwich, but I was carrying my banga recipe.
That was your own sandwich.
That was my own sandwich. And politicians, in the area of politics, the word inclusion in Nigeria sounds foreign. Sounds as if people are not even aware of what's going on. There are only 4 female senators in the whole country.
But there's the 35% affirmative action.
That has not reached the ears of our politicians at all. Because right from the primaries, the area, the other day I was watching the Edo primaries. There was only one woman. And she had served in the House of Representatives. If I was a politician, a female politician, that's a candidate that I would back. Do you know, I saw one of the women leaders asking her to step down. Yes, because she had cut her teeth, even as a child of a politician, as the sister of a former governor of that state. So she had a lot, she came with a lot of experience. But the person that won the primaries had never actually lived in the state. I'm not saying this to pull him down, but how does that make sense to you, to me? So the question of inclusion is at that level that, you know, you start from the process, you move on to the next stage, you have been there for a long time, and you have the record to show that you are a child or a woman of that society, you belong there. Isn't that why someone will become, why did they make Souq the Prime Minister of England? It's because he went to school in England. He has served as a chancellor. So that qualifies him to be there. So I don't know whether he carried Indian soup along with him to prompt them. But he was chosen he was discovered by the former Prime Minister as a good candidate. And he had a lot of women in his cabinet, that's Boris Johnson, including a Nigerian who was born in Nigeria, but because she had a lot to offer. But here, I don't know, really, I don't want to put them down. I don't want to put the politicians down. I think they're doing very well. In the medical field, people like Mrs. Awoli, they had been there for years, the first woman doctor in the whole country, followed by the mother of a female actress. I've forgotten her name, right? It escapes me right now. The mother was such an astute person, and she became the head of all the directors of medical services in Lagos. I'm trying to remember her name now. Anyway, her mother was a doctor, but we all knew, but she always came to the studio with her daughter and said, Julia, I'm handing her over to you when we're doing children's. Now she's a big actress. And Joke Smith, that's her name. So her mother, Dr. Smith, Bimbola Smith, would bring her daughter to the studio. In spite of the fact that she was, you know, the head of the medical, the director of medical services at the time. But so that is the role of a woman who had enough confidence in herself that she could leave the job for the women to take care of because she had done her own bit, you know. And see how well she groomed the child to become a fantastic actress. She didn't say, oh, you are going to follow in my, as a doctor, in my field, you have to do this, you have to do that. Women don't dictate to their children. They let them, you know, make their own choice of the career in whatever area they're going to. I don't know if your own mother is a doctor or yours is a lawyer.
Okay, all
but
right.
this one, I was talking to someone who is a son, a female son, but she was a reader in the church. You see, that's how women perform. Even in some areas, you find that men become the endangered species. In my own time, I was the head of presentation, and I was saying, oh God, where are all the men? Yinka Craig, where is he? Patrick O'Kay, and so on and so forth. As head of, it wasn't a deliberate attempt for me to be picking men. But we found that because the women performed better.
So they were there.
They were there. Okay. But in politics, maybe we have to tighten up our belts and start, you know, making sure that the men give us the recognition that we deserve. We can't have, from here, from this moment, I would like to lead a brigade, a fight to say that there should be more than 4 women in the city. It's a disgrace. I think it is.
All right, so you've actually talked about the role of a woman, you know, so let's talk about the role of media.
The role of?
Media.
Media.
Media, yes. Let's talk about the role of media. So it's International Women's Day, and we are saying invest in women, accelerate progress. You just talked about, you know, the political setting where we don't even have enough, women in this setting? What is the role of media in projecting, in pushing that women ensures that they get themselves involved?
That's our
in
responsibility
those areas?
now. From today, we should sign a communique and say, we want more women.
Okay, we'll sign it. We want more women. Thank you very much. Veteran broadcaster Julie Coker making herself available for us today to celebrate International Women's Day. It's an honor to have you here with us on the show, and we thank you so much for your wonderful thoughts.
That even at my age, you still think that I have a little bit of contribution to make.
Oh, your contributions are so much valuable.
We can't take that away from you.
At all, at all. All right, we're not done serving you the special edition. Let's go on a quick break. When we return, a man will join us. Let's see what the men think about women, and they can give us maybe some insights, some expo on how we can accelerate progress. Stay tuned.
In the heart of sub-Saharan Africa, where commerce meets progress. Welcome to Souq News, your source for business, economy, and development insight that drive nations forward. From the vibrant streets of Lagos, Africa's fastest economic hub, Souq News takes you on a journey of discovery, analyzing and reporting the facts that lay the foundation for growth and development. We don't just report the news, we create it. Souq News is more than a channel. It is a catalyst for change, spotlighting the stories that shape economies, inspire entrepreneurs, and fuel progress. Covering business, finance, technology, energy, and many more, Souq News provides a daily deep dive into the stories that matter, interviews with industry titans, and analysis that empowers your understanding of economic landscape. Join us daily as we dissect, discuss, and deliver the most relevant and factual news on business and the economy. Souq News is your trusted guide, empowering you with the knowledge to make informed decisions. The National Theatre, Igomu, built during the military regime of Olusegun Obasanjo and finished in the time for the Second World Festival of Black Arts and Culture, Festac, in 1977. The theatre holds amazing treasures and memories. The artworks fill everyone with pride. The National Arts Theatre is visible from the motorway which connects Lagos Island and the mainland. The National Theatre is packed with the artworks of a legendary contemporary Nigerian artist, stained glass walls by Yusuf Grillo, sculptures and murals by Lamidi Fakeye, Erabo Emopai, and many others. It was put to full use for a month as one of the 4 venues of the Second World Black and African Festival of Arts and Culture, tagged Festac 77. The complex hosted 16,000 participants from 56 African countries and the diaspora in an unprecedented showcase of African music, fine art, literature, drama, dance, and religion. The National Art Theatre was built and designed by Techno Experts Troll, a Bulgarian company, mirroring the Palace of Culture and Sports in Varna, Bulgaria. Completed in 1976, the building is one of the largest and most beautiful of its kind on the African continent. It consists of a central hall with 5,000 seats, a collapsible stage that can be quickly rebuilt, a conference hall with 1,600 seats, 2 large exhibition halls, and 2 cinemas with 800 seats each. The theatre complex has a dressing room for artists, a garage, offices, coffee bars, and a buffet. It has indoor TV and radio systems, as well as booths with facilities for simultaneous translation of languages and hectares of lush green lawn around. The majestic structure sits in Igomu like a quiet mountain, mesmerizing visitors and passers-by. The National Theatre, Souq Enlightenment.
The challenge of governance is to see how we can leverage what is on the ground and convert this to wealth for the people.
Russia, China are gaining entry into Africa, and it would appear that some Western countries are losing out.
You're working as an expatriate worker, then you're paid in your currency. But then if you must spend those money, you need to convert those money to the local currency to spend.
For Social Security to work, we need to know exactly how many we are. We don't have a precise number. We need to know exact location of people.
When we address this exchange rate volatility, we will see definitely cost of goods and services will come down.
From a security point of view, we should employ the technology to ensure that we can track individuals and goods within the continent.
This is Early Exchange with Femi Ayodele.
You know, the Early Exchange is all about shaping policy and advancing development with our conversation. Today, we're set to give you the best of programming.
And Blessing Aiche.
We do hope that you enjoy every time you spend with us here today. The world needs peace. The world needs to come to a round table and find solutions to the pockets of troubles.
Early Exchange, shaping policy, advancing development.
All right, let me go religious as I introduce to you the man in our midst this morning. He is blessed amongst women, and he is very, very honored to be here with us. I know he feels that way. He will confirm once I introduce him. Is Sam Oroje, Director, Center for Public Policy, and today he's celebrating International Women's Day with us. Good to have you here.
Thank
Good morning.
you very much indeed. I really feel honored. You girls looking, women looking delectable.
Yes, is that
honor beautiful women. Happy International Women's Day.
Thank you
On behalf
very
of
much.
the men across the group, I'd like to celebrate women.
Thank you very
as
much.
sisters, as mothers. Thank you very much indeed, and I really feel honored to be amongst women on International Women's Day.
Thank you
Enjoy
so
your
much
day.
for celebrating with us. All
Thank
right,
you
let's
very
even
much.
begin from the men. Women could not have achieved so much without the men. They could have protested. It could also have gone, maybe not unnoticed, but they could have been denied some of the rights that they pushed for all through the years. So, but thanks to all the men who believe in equity, who believe in fairness, that have said, let's help them push and have a better world to live in. But sometimes it is seen as though the hurdle to progress for women is put there by the men. What's your response?
Thank you very much indeed. And once again, thank you on a day like this. We celebrate women. We believe in women. We appreciate women. And men cannot live without women, either as wives, either as sisters, either as mothers. So I agree with you with that brief intro that you just made. Remember, culturally, patriarchy has been a dominant negative impact on women development. But with education, with the level of advocacy across the globe, this patriarchy is gradually being erased from the minds of men in particular. So, and that's why people talk about gender mainstreaming, which means women and the girl child must be mainstream in terms of providing equity, inclusion, and development. So once, like they say, if you educate the girl child, you are educating a generation that is yet unborn. So I think a day like this, we need to highlight that men cannot do it alone, and they must do it with women. So a kind of gender balancing is required. We celebrate women, and we'll continue to celebrate women. And as women take leadership, we think the world will be better for it. But because my time is limited, I need to highlight this. The 10th National Assembly must rework about those 6 gender bills that represent women that were thrown overboard in 2022. You had bill number 35, 36, 37, and 68, which talked about core elements in terms of women participation in government, in terms of providing adequate seats, inclusion, in terms of being able to be an indigene of a particular state by marriage. So those bills must be reworked. A day like this is a day where they must look at those bills. Regrettably, the voting population in Nigeria over the last how many years is over 51-point-something% in terms of women voting public, but they are underrepresented. Only 5% of women are in parliament. So that's regrettably need to address that. On the other hand, in terms of cabinet representation across states, local government up to the federal, just about 10%. So we need to work this up where you have about 61.4% of women represented in the Rwandan parliament, which is the largest across the globe. So we need to find a way to put women at the center. And a day like this is important to highlight those core issues.
Okay, so thank you. I think briefly you've been able to expand even beyond what I was expecting, but let me just quickly bring it home because you've mentioned national, state, and all of that. So you acknowledge that men need support from women, but I must say that to some men, I think they can do it all by themselves. So let's bring it home. What would you have to say to men out there that still believe that no, it's just them, they can do it all by themselves? The women just need to be there and get orders from them or get support from them. We are talking about empowering women. We're talking about inclusion. What would you say to this?
I think I mentioned that in passing. Men cannot do it alone, so we need the women. What that means is this patriarchy and the discrimination against women based on cultural nuances must be put away. Then essentially what is important is that men must educate the girl child to have the right of place in society. And once you do that, then these issues of patriarchy that are limitation to women and development will ease out. And to that extent, women will have the pride of place. And women have done extremely very well across the globe. You have women as bank executive, industry executive, and all that. So the more the merrier. So I think equality and inclusion is the way I can sign out on a day like this. So once again, I celebrate you.
Before you sign out, just give a tip or two on how women can get the cooperation of men towards inclusion, quickly.
I didn't get that question.
How can women get the cooperation of men towards inclusion? Sometimes some men feel like it's a competition, it's a fight.
No,
but
I
how
don't
can
think
women
so.
get
Once,
the cooperation of men?
I think the key is providing education to women and treat women equally.
Okay.
Because women are your mother, women are your sisters. So from that perspective, once these cultural nuances that try to portray patriarchy is removed, and I think over the years, in the last 40 years, from the Beijing affirmative action, I think the place of women has been documented, and they are doing extremely very well. Once again, happy International Women's Day.
All right, well received. Thank you very much, Sam
My pleasure,
Orunji,
my pleasure.
Director, Center for Public Policy, for being the special guest on the show today. And thanks to you, Grace Komolafe, my fellow woman, and we celebrate together. Don't worry, for all women, you get the rice, you get the cake, and the chicken. We'll do the party wherever we are today. Yes.
Can we do this like once in every month?
So it's a month. It's a month. The celebration continues. It is Women's Historic Month. March. The entire March belongs to women, but we're not selfish. You just want to take one day on early exchange. Iron blessing, AHA. To all the strong women out there, we salute your courage and we ask that we do not give up. We continue pushing for a better world for all of us. Have a pleasant and a wonderful day.
And I want to say that to every woman there, you just need to keep pushing, remain strong, be who you want to be, and envision beyond what you see now. I believe that with all efforts put together, you will get there. Happy International Women's Day, and blessing. Thank you for this opportunity.
All right. We'll see you.